Hi everyone, this is the debrief for the self-awareness activity for April 9th. The cards that we were working with was trying versus doing, discipline, and change it up. So the way it all played together was trying versus doing. Once you take steps or an action towards a goal or an intention, it ceases to be trying and becomes doing. Makes me think of, what was it Yoda said when he was training Luke Skywalker, there is no try, it is do or don't do. And I think that's really true, because doing does not mean necessarily perfection or achieving what you intend, but you are doing, you are acting towards, and therefore it is an act of doing. Whatever the outcome is, you are in the act of doing. Now, the energy you were being asked to embrace was the discipline card. It involves setting guidelines for yourself and choosing to follow through with them. It sets your task as a priority, knowing, hello, sweetheart, knowing that the payoff comes from commitment to the process and not necessarily to the outcome. Decide now how you'd like to apply this concept to your action card or any other task you'd like to use in the process, and now commit to follow through. So I love this one, actually. It was the Change It Up card. Today, do things differently. Change as many habits and rituals as possible. Some examples are the chair you relax in, the direction you face when you work or eat, time or location of coffee break or rest period, the aftershave or perfume you use, and how you answer the phone or the food that you eat. So I like this because, okay, so if you're being asked to embrace the energy of trying versus doing, that really is saying, okay, that's not the energy you're being asked to embrace. That's the thought, the attitude that you're asked to contemplate. I got distracted by the cat, but I'm not going to redo this. So you're being asked to contemplate trying versus doing. And to me, that's a valuable thing, because so very often the idea of trying is about struggle. It carries with it a certain struggle. And it negates the fact that you are actually actively working towards something, which can feel extremely gratifying. And it also allows you to kind of keep track of your progress when you're aware of being in the act of doing. And also, I think it's really relevant to consider in this one that doing doesn't always mean that it's going to show up in the practical table and chair reality. Doing might be brainstorming. Doing might be making plans for something, doing research towards something before you actually make a decision about what it is you actually want to do. So I think that's a really valuable thing to consider, because very often what we only value is the outcome. And very often, more often than not, it really is the act of doing something that you find the lessons in, the interest in, the understanding in. So the discipline, I like this because, again, change it up, do it differently, do things differently. It goes back trying versus doing. Well, as soon as I have the intention to discipline myself, to do things differently, to change things up, immediately now I am doing something, because I am thinking about doing something differently. That's the first doing I'm doing. And what it also does is it reminds me to say, okay, I'm going to now look at what I can change today. There's certain things I might not be able to change. Maybe I need to go to work in the same way I always do because I'm carpooling. Or maybe I need to eat a certain food because of a particular dietary need that I have. So I won't do that. But what I can do is change, okay, where I'm going to sit in the morning when I have my coffee, how I'm going to do my groceries. Am I going to call and give somebody a ride? Am I going to just go and do them on my own when I want? Like, I can look at where I can shift things around a little bit. And what I found was really fascinating for myself when I did this is I really looked back over the number of times I actually was doing things in my life that was moving towards change, but demanded time for it to evolve. That there were many things in a sequence of making a major change in my life that in the moment I didn't realize were working towards it, but were. So I got to look at that. And I also got to see how much more productive I felt when I saw doing as being something that was not necessarily a choice about productivity, which I think very often we associate it with. It was a choice of rest, that I was doing things that were restful by not doing other things. I think you get that one. And the very fact that I was looking at things to change up, that I did set myself an idea ahead of time in the day. Okay, now what can I change today? I didn't do it every day. I don't want you to think that I do this perfectly. I don't. But the fact that it made me aware of it during the week, that there were times when I definitely made choices or I questioned what my choice was, about whether or not I wanted to do something in the same old way or whether or not I could do it differently. And what was interesting was I found it actually made me a lot more aware of my surroundings, my home, my town, my community. And I found myself being really, really grateful for it. And really grateful that I had the power to choose and that I had the ability to choose, that I'm at a place in my life where I can choose geographically, socially, economically, where I have more freedom than I had when I was younger. Not huge amounts, but I had more easy freedom. I could have done some of these things when I was younger. I could have decided suddenly I'm taking the day off. But I also had responsibilities to people, and so I would have been a lot less inclined to do that unless I really needed to. So that's the context in my life as it is now. And of course, for you guys, it's going to be different depending upon where you are. But I think it's a really interesting thing to do, and I would be really curious to get comments from you about what you noticed and how you worked with this in your own particular way. I really love to know that. And that's it. That's it for the debrief for last week. I've already posted the self-awareness activity for the week coming. So it's a little out of sync, but it was just because of the timing of things here on this end. So there you go, my friends. I hope that was fun. I hope that was interesting, and I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much. Take care.